This is me. I am happy. And I feel like I will never be this happy ever again. But that is exactly why I made this. To remind myself that I can be. And will be in a month. When it's my cheat day. Because I have decided to go on a diet. Again. And hopefully it'll stick this time. I'm not a fan of vlogs. I don't like giving updates on the everyday nonsense of my life because I don't think it's particularly interesting, and most of the time I just feel like I'm making excuses. But I would rather have it in a specific video and not start going on about it when I am playing games. So, yeah, compromise. What does dieting mean for me? It means that I'll be back to reviewing... I'll be back to playing games again on the... What date is it? On the 1st of July. Where I will return playing a long-awaited addition to my gaming library, Mechanicus 2. Even though apparently it's got mixed reviews, so not sure what to make of that. Having read the top-rated negatives and top-rated positive comments, I think the issue is that while it's perfectly playable, it's not as good as the community, as the fans surrounding it would have wanted it to be. I've never played Mechanicus 2. I've never played Mechanicus. So, not sure what to do with that. But it will be interesting to find out either way. And this way I can play 40k without actually having to freaking play the tabletop game. So I'm looking forward to that. Beyond that... Alright, right, I was talking about my diet. The reason I haven't been uploading is because... bullshit in my head, as always. There's always something that hinders me, something that makes me sad, something that makes me focus on my pitiful issues rather than being a productive member of the human species. And, more than that, I still can't find a freaking job. And I know it's fucking shallow, but I am starting to consider if maybe being somewhat better looking might actually help me find a job. It shouldn't be about that, but let's be honest, it is. People judge based on opinion and based on first impressions. Pleasant first impressions go a long way. It's much easier to make a pleasant impression if you don't look like a bridge troll. And the thing is, I don't mind being fat. In fact, I like taking up space. And as this photo demonstrates, it is much easier and more pleasant to take up more space by eating good food than by picking up a heavy thing and putting it down again and picking it up again and putting it down again like an ass. But I need a goddamn job. I need to do something. I need to change my... I need change. I need proactivity. I need productivity. I need ambition. I need to get out of my head to follow this little golden book that I have gotten from my father. Why did I just make the sign of the cross? I'm not Christian. Whatever. I need to do something. And dieting, well, first of all, might make me healthier, which might give me more energy, which might get me out of my head a bit more. And also, might make me more attractive, which, that would be a good thing. And more than that, I always complain about not having money. If I stop eating like a bird, by which I mean my body weight daily, maybe I might actually save some money. And have money to buy stuff with. Wouldn't that be something? Wouldn't that be fantastic? So what does dieting mean for me? Well, I'm going for a Atkins keto hybrid mutation kind of thing. And what that means is I'll be cutting out as much carbohydrates out of my diet as possible, whilst still eating all I can of fats and proteins, and it's a weird way of phrasing it to me, but below the ground vegetables. I actually like vegetables. I like salads. I like carrots, but they're not above ground. But I like tomatoes. I like cucumbers. And switching out French fries for string beans, for example, that's perfectly doable to me, so long as I get a good bit of not ribeye. What's it called? Spare ribs. And not having pasta, I don't mind that. I'm perfectly fine with the combination of cold cucumber and hot food going down my gullet. I am perfectly happy with these things. And if you've never tried it, you have got to try oven-baked tomatoes with salt and pepper. It is absolutely divine. And it goes with pretty much everything. And it might actually be easier to wrap pieces of the Swedish classic prickkorv in little salad leaves and just eat them like snacks now and then. Might be perfectly doable. We'll see. Might be easier. But the thing about dieting is, no matter how well you do it, you still get that initial downtime where you don't want to do anything, you don't want to wake up, you just want to sleep until it's over with. But I already have those symptoms. It's called being me. And I don't like being me. I watched that episode with the goo from Guillermo del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosities and thought, but that's a happy ending. This is exactly what she wanted. While the husband wanted her to stay the way she was because you shouldn't care what they think of you. It was never about what other people thought of her. It was always about what she thought of herself. Prick. Right, so dieting. Yeah, Atkins, keto kind of thing. I'll be cutting carbs out of my diet as well as much as I can, with a few concessions. First of all, a while ago I tried baking the Subway sesame breads. And I still have those in my freezer, and I don't want them to go to spill, so I'll be making sandwiches. Not every day, but, on occasion. Another concession, I am a big fan of condiments. I like Martha Lane's ketchup. Is coleslaw a condiment? For the sake of this, it's a condiment. I like coleslaw. Shut your foe. And Santa Maria's barbecue sauce, you will have to drag that out of my cold, dead hands before I let that go. Even after the betrayal of them switching from glass bottles to freaking plastic, I still would die for that sauce. But in my defense, like I said, sandwiches, not every day. And condiments, they are. And just a small layer, just a small little click on the side of a hand plate to, dip in. I think that's perfectly fine, perfectly reasonable. Any other concessions? Oh yeah. Monthly cheat days. The day I get my probation? No. The day I get money from the government for not having a job. Those days I will visit this place, have that burger, and be happy. I think that's about all the concessions I make. Next week I will be visiting the local cinema to finally watch the amazing Digital Circus finale along with my niece, a friend of hers, and my sister, so it doesn't look too creepy. Why do I make these jokes? I always regret them. But yeah, that's going to be a great fun, and it's a great deal of fun. Not sure whether I will have any snacks though that day or not. Depends entirely. As you can tell, I didn't plan this out whatsoever, but let's see, what have I talked about? I've talked about not liking myself particularly much. I've talked about wanting to change. I want to be more consistent. I want to have more drive and energy. I want to be motivated to do things. I want to be an actual human being, some might say. I want a job, but not too much to say about that, really. I am going on a diet. I've talked about concessions. I've talked about the diet in question. I've talked about Mechanicus. Fuck it! This was a god-awful piece of shit that I can't believe you sat through if you did. But you know what? If you're that interested in me, then you know what? For you watching, I will try my best to not break diet after 3 days like I did last time. But today I have sugar, today I have sugary fat, and I have Mechanicus 2. And you know what? This is today. Tomorrow will be suffering. Thank you all for watching. I've been Keen But Shy, and I hope you will join me on the first episode of Warhammer 40,000 Mechanicus 2.